Welcome to the interface tour for the new LME system, Quercus. We're just going to take you through a high-level tour of the Quercus interface, both from the overall view of sort of the whole system, as well as the more micro view of your individual course. So you'll be able to see how to get around and find things within the system itself, and then within your courses that reside in the system. The first step for accessing Quercus is to go to q.utoronto.ca in your browser. Again, that's q.utoronto.ca. It will then prompt you for your username and password to log in. This is your Utor ID and password, just like logging into any other university system.
After logging into Quercus, this is the page you land on. First, it's your dashboard page. On the left, you can see there's some navigation. In the middle, there's these cards that are all your active courses. On the right is a listing of your to-do, what's coming up in your courses, any kind of feedback or grades will be listed on the right-hand side of this page. Right up on the top, you'll see these three little dots. It gives you things to change in whatever view you're looking at. One thing you'll notice about the courses, you'll see little numbers beside things. This means there's 6 new announcements that haven't been looked at here. There's some discussion posts, things like that for you to just sort of a quick overview of what's changed in your course since the last time. Now on the right, going down the side, we've got account settings. This is where you can enter in your profile information, your biography or whatever. Underneath that are personal settings for Quercus that you can change. There's also, underneath that, there's notifications so that you can change how you receive notifications, and files where you can upload files to your personal account, and then also a link to ePortfolios. We've already gone over the dashboard, but again, you can quickly get back there by clicking on that. There are courses. This is all your active courses on the top. Underneath, you'll see a link to all courses, which will show all the courses that you've been attached to in Quercus. There's also a calendar that you can go to, which collects all the due dates and other dated things in your calendar. It puts them all from all your courses together in one spot. This is also true of the inbox, where all your course emails can come to your inbox from all the courses you're working with. Also, there's a help button here if you have any questions, needs to quickly find something out. It's a pretty good help system.
Okay, now that you've had a bit of a tour and overview of the main interface, let's jump into a course and have a look at the course interface. So, to join a course, you simply click on the card of the course, or you can click on the name of the course, and that will bring you into the course interface. You'll see that once you're inside the course, it'll bring you to the course homepage. This homepage can be chosen by you, the instructor. The course interface contains the main navigation menu, which is always available on the left-hand side, the course navigation, this area at the top, which is reserved for announcements, as well as the content of your homepage. In this case, I've chosen to show the modules of the course. On the right-hand side of the page, you'll see a sidebar that will have different contextual options depending on where you are in your course or what you're doing in the course. On the homepage, it'll give the option to publish or unpublish a course, choose a homepage, view the course stream, make a new announcement, test out the student view to see what students see of your course, as well as view the course analytics. Now let's take a look at the course navigation. So once you're in the course, you start with your home page, which again is customizable by you, the instructor, to be whatever landing page you would like. The course syllabus, which in Canvas is an area that collects all the due dates for assignments and other things in your course and puts them all on one page, and also allows you to attach the syllabus for your course. There's an announcements area, which collects all the announcements you've made in the course and not just the ones that are the most recent that are posted on the homepage. There's a modules area, which again shows all the content you've arranged into modules. There's the discussions area, which shows all the discussion topics that you've made for your course. There's an assignments area, which shows any assignments that you've made for your course. There's a quizzes area, which shows any surveys, tests, or exams, or quizzes that you've made for your course. And then there's a people area, which shows all the people enrolled in your course, as well as gives you the ability to create groups, add TAs, and other course staff. The grades area allows you to give grades to students and provide other feedback, as well as get an overview of all the grades for your course. It's also where students go to receive their grades and feedback. The collaborations area is grayed out in this, and anything that's grayed out, as in the next 4, just means that they're set to not be visible to students. And again, this is customizable by you, the instructor. The collaborations area is where you can use tools like Google Docs, Google Drive, things like that, to share content and have people work together on them. The outcomes area is where you can set learning outcomes for your course. The files area stores all the files related to this course. And the pages area is where you can create content pages that can then be placed in modules, and all the pages will be listed in this pages area. Lastly, you have a settings area, which allows you to change all the settings applicable to this course. Jumping now into the settings area, you can see that you'll have your course details and all the different options you can change relating to the course details. One interesting thing to note is there's some options that are actually pretty important, but they're hidden in this very tucked away spot under more options. So make sure you check these as well, because they have things like hiding totals from student grades, hiding grade distribution graphs, disabling comments, letting students create discussion topics, and other pretty key features to be hidden away in such a manner. Once you've made any changes here in your course details or course settings, you just want to hit this Update Course Details button. The other things you can do from the settings area are click through these tabs to access sections and adding new sections or deleting sections that have been made. You can customize your navigation, which again is this course navigation menu on the side, by dragging and dropping things to rearrange the order, or dragging and dropping things and dragging them into this area here to hide them. There's this apps area in your course, which will show you what apps are currently installed in your course, and in the future may give the ability to add additional apps to your course. And then the last tab is feature options, and these are some course features that are enabled or disabled, and you can test out some of these by either clicking this little slider button on or off to turn on these features if you'd like. Just like in other interfaces, you do have a side menu here in your course settings area, and it again just gives you some direct access to specific options that are all fairly descriptive in what they do. So you can move that through there. It'll also show you all the current users in your course, give you a quick summary of that. So that's the settings area. Now, looking at the pages area, this will list any pages you've made in your entire course. Typically, you would arrange the pages in modules, but they also show up here in a large list. You can see really quickly whether they're published or unpublished, and you can quickly publish or unpublish them with a simple click of the button. If you click the 3 dots, you also get options here, again, to edit the page, delete the page, use as the front page, or create a copy of that page. You can also add a new page from this interface by clicking this plus page button right here in the upper right. I think it'll be useful now to take a quick look at creating a page, because that interface will show you what almost all the sort of content creation looks like within Canvas. So whether you're doing a discussion post or you're creating a page like so, or building an assignment description, things like that, you'll have access to this rich text editor. So at the top, you can put the title of the page, and then in here, you can build out all your content of the page. You can see here, you'll have all the options similar to what were in Blackboard, as well as kind of like think of it as a basic word processing. So, you can add pictures, images, links, text, and build it out like that. Under here, you can actually make it so other people can edit the page as well as yourself. And then you can see in the sidebar here, you have options to add quick links to all this content that may already be in your course, like other assignments you've made, quizzes, announcements, discussions, other pages, things like that. You'll also have a quick link to your files, as well as to uploading or searching for images. One other thing to note is clicking this button here brings you into the HTML editor, which will allow you to edit the actual code of the page. After you're finished, you can either save it as a draft or you can save it and publish it in one go. Taking a look at the files area now, you'll see how it's laid out with the folder structure listed here. You can click that to go into the folders and subfolders there. And then all the files in those folders listed here, more in the center and towards the right. Again, just like with pages, you can see if these files are published or unpublished, and you can also one-click publish them or unpublish them, or also restrict access. Within any folder, you can also create a new folder by clicking this, or you can upload new files to your course area by clicking this. One thing to keep an eye on is down here in the lower left, you'll see the amount of quota you've used for your course. So each course has 3 gigs of space, and you'll be able to keep track of how much you have left by having a quick look at this area here. When you go to the grades area, you'll notice it looks very similar to the Blackboard grades interface with essentially a spreadsheet type view, which comprises the default gradebook view in Canvas. One interesting thing to note is that when you go to the grades view, because it's privileging this spreadsheet view, it tends to collapse the navigation for the course. So if you want to get your course navigation back, you have to hit this hamburger menu up in the upper left, which will then reopen the course navigation. So looking at your spreadsheet view, which again is the default gradebook view in Canvas, you can see you'll have all your students listed down the side, their user IDs, and then a list of all your assignments, and then your assignment groups here, and then a total if you want that total to be available. You can see up in the upper right, this means an assignment has been muted so that students won't receive information from that assignment in terms of feedback and grades until it's unmuted. When you click this chevron, this will give you access to assignment details, speed grader, messaging students who haven't submitted, set default grade, or to unmute the assignment. So that's very similar to Blackboard in that you can control the options for each assignment from their column in the gradebook using this little chevron. You get the same kind of options when you hover over each of these discrete columns in the gradebook to give feedback or to enter a grade right here. And if you want to, you can use these buttons on the right to import grades, export grades, or access more settings about the gradebook. You can also sort your gradebook via sections if there's sections in your course, and you can change away from the default gradebook view to what's called the individual view. We're going to take a look at the people area now. You can see in the people area, this is going to list all the enrollments in your course. So you'll see all your students, as well as any other course staff that you've added, as well as yourself listed there. And you can see their login ID, their SIS ID, so this will be UTOR ID, as well as student number. And then it'll show you sections if you've made sections, and it'll show you their role in the course. It'll show you information around their last activity, for instance, when they were last active in the course, as well as their total activity in the course. You can also click the 3 little dots to get some specific actions you can do for each user as well. Going through this interface really quickly, you can see you'll be able to add people with this +sign people button. So that's how you could add a TA to your course, for example. You can see that there is a add group set here. And that's for, again, you can create sets of groups that you can use to do things like create group assignments, create areas, group areas for students to collaborate with groups in Canvas, things of that nature. Really quickly, you can jump over to that groups tab by clicking that tab over there, and it'll show you all the student groups if you've made any group sets and associated groups. Again, using the breadcrumb to move back to the people tab, you'll see again also that there's 3 dots up here, and they give you some options for this one as well, such as viewing prior enrollments, access to the student interactions report, and viewing registered services. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at assignments and then the quizzes area of the course. So when you go to the assignments area, you'll see two buttons to add things at the top of the interface. You have the add an assignment group and then add a specific assignment. So typically you would create groups of assignments. So for example, if you had weekly postings or specific assignments, essays, etc. And then within that group, you can hit the plus sign for that group to add an assignment to each group. You can see it gives you an option to weight each group, which is one of the advantages of using assignment groups. And the other thing is these groups then are reflected in the gradebook. So just like you notice throughout Canvas, you have these plus signs as well as these three dot menu buttons to get different options as well. And also this ability to publish and unpublish assignments with the click of a button. So to add an assignment group, again, you click here and it'll create this sort of drop down menu. And then to add an assignment within there, you can either hit this up here or you can hit this right there if you know exactly which group you want to put the assignment in. When you add an assignment, you get the same kind of interface as wherever you can edit content in Canvas. Again, the ability to link to things already in the course. You give it a name. You can place a description of the assignment in there, and then you can go down through these options and select different parameters for your assignment. Once you've updated all the options in the assignment parameters, you can either save it as a draft or you can save and publish it right away. Moving on to the quizzes area of your course now, this is where you can create exams, tests, quizzes, as well as surveys. This interface looks very similar to the assignments interface in that you have a list of all your quizzes and then you'll have a separate section for your survey. So it's kind of grouped into two distinct areas, and you can add a new quiz, which again is really just the Canvas term for any kind of test, survey, or exam. Or you can manage your question banks by accessing in those. So if you hit add quiz, this takes you to a new interface where you can, much like assignments, link to all the other content in your course in the quiz instructions area here. Type in the quiz instructions or details, give it a name, go down through the various options and turn things on or off. And then also you have the second tab over here, where if you click this, this brings you into the questions part of your quiz. So you can add an individual new question, you can create a new question group, or you can find questions if you've saved questions previously in a question bank. Once you've created your quiz, you go down here, and again, you can hit save, or you can hit save and publish to make it available right away. Let's look at the discussions area now. You can see on this page there's three main zones for the different discussions. There's a pinned discussions area, which you can drag discussions up into, and they will always appear at the top of this list. There are discussions that are open but not pinned, and they appear in this list here, so people can enter them and participate in the discussions. And then there's discussions that will appear here, which are discussions that are closed for comments. You can move things back and forth between these by dragging and dropping. You have a search box in your discussions area as well to search, as well as looking at simply just seeing unread discussions or discussions that are assignments. Much like elsewhere in the Canvas interface, you have these three little dots to indicate other options for the discussion. So you can close for comments, you can unpin it, you can move in the same way to do drag and drop, or you can actually duplicate a discussion board. You have the little gear to edit the discussion settings for all your discussions. And you have the ability to add a new discussion by hitting this plus discussion button. So looking inside the discussion, you'll see the created discussion right at the top and any details that were entered here in terms of the discussion description when the discussion was created. You also see the date that it was created over here, and you see a running number of replies to that discussion. So you can reply to the discussion by clicking in this box and editing the content, just as elsewhere you can in Canvas. You have a rich text editor that appears. You can also search through this discussion, view unread, view deleted replies, and use these buttons to collapse all the replies or expand all the replies. So looking at a reply that's been expanded, you can see this initial one was a reply that was posted to the initial prompt, and then all these replies to that one were actually filled in by replying to this initial reply here rather than replying to the first prompt. So discussions then are kind of stacked in that manner. So you can reply to the reply or reply to the initial discussion prompt. One nice thing you'll notice about the interface is as you scroll through long pages of discussions, the search bar, as well as the view unread and the ability to collapse and expand replies, travels with you and is pinned to the top of the page. So it gives you some sorting functionality as you scroll through long discussions. One other thing to note is there's this subscribe button, and this will show you whether you're subscribed to the discussion or not. So when subscribed, you'll be notified of new comments as they're made in the discussion board. Moving on to the modules area, you can see how within Quercus and in the Canvas interface, the idea of organizing information and items into modules kind of takes the place of the Blackboard folder structure. So you can see how the modules themselves are segmented, and you can collapse and open them and have a heading kind of area there. And you can create as many modules as you like. So for example, here we have a course information module, a week 1 module, week 2, week 3, so on and so forth. You can see, as replicated elsewhere, you can unpublish entire modules with a click of a button, or you can publish it with a click of a button. You can add things to a module by clicking this plus button here. So clicking this allows you to add pretty much anything in your course. So any type of course content, whether it's an assignment, a quiz, a file, content page, discussion, so on and so forth. You can also use text headers to help you organize your content within the module. You can link to external URLs and to external tools as well. Once you've added an item to the module, it will appear in the list. These items can then be rearranged through the drag and drop functionality within the module. A couple other items of note are the ability to export all the course content from the modules area, the ability to view student progress in the modules, as well as the button here to add a new module. The announcements area of your course is very straightforward. You'll see all the announcements you've made listed in the middle of your screen. You'll also have the ability to sort through them, either viewing them all or just unread ones. You'll be able to search them. You can also select specific announcements and then delete them if you'd like. You can use this plus announcement button to create a new announcement. And this external feeds area allows you to add external blog feeds, like if you had a course blog or something like that. Let's take a look at the syllabus page now. On the syllabus page, you'll see an editable area to fill in any information about your course, as well as to attach a PDF or Word document of your actual course syllabus. Under there, you'll see a course summary, which pulls in all the assignments, quizzes, and other assessment items that you've put in your course, as well as their due dates, if they had any. You can edit the syllabus here, and this is how you would go about changing this information description and attaching a file. On the right-hand side, you'll see a course calendar, as well as all the assignment groups in your course, and if they have a course weighting in the gradebook.